Hey family, listen, we're getting into it today. We're talking about the process because we're getting ready to go into 2026. And I want us to have an understanding of what the process actually looks like and feels like for us to be our greater self, for us to reach our goals, to get what we're trying to get to in 2026, because we don't want to be behind. You have to start that right now. So listen, you might not feel like you're the person that needs to hear this, but it might be someone that you know. So make sure you stick to the end so that you can share this with them. And we want them to be a part of our family too, right? And don't forget to hit that notification bell for any future videos. All right, I'll see you guys over there. So for me, I have experienced a lot of processes in my life, and I will be honest with you guys. Processes are not my favorite thing. If I can find a way to get something done quicker, I would prefer it now, but that wasn't always the case, okay? So, of course, you know, our motto is we're trying to skip the line in a lot of spaces, meaning we might not have had mentorship, or we might not have had parents or family that went through things or to get us where we're trying to get to. So we're leaning on each other to help us skip the line like the wealthy do, right? They have a lot of mentorship or a lot of knowledge they can pass down, and we want to do that amongst ourselves if we don't have anyone filling in that space. Okay, that is different than what we're talking about here today. Just because we are getting insight on how to skip around some things to get a lot of things accomplished in life, you know, just by way of we just didn't know it and somebody can tell us and we can get it done, we still have to go through the woes of life. I talk about these a lot, the ups and downs of life, right? And a lot of times it feels so unfair when you're going through it, right? You're like, why is life just not good to me? Why am I experiencing all these shortcomings? Why is everything got to be so hard? That's the part that we're talking about today. We're getting ready to lean into that a little bit. Once upon a time, I was a young girl trying to figure things out, and I didn't have a lot of guidance in a lot of spaces because, as you guys know, I was the first of my family to do a lot of the things that I've done with my life, as far as graduating from my immediate family, as far as graduating from college, as far as getting my master's, as far as starting a business. I mean, even living outside of my town, moving away from home for an extended period, like years and years and years, getting my first place set up. I was the first person from my immediate family, set of grandkids to really do that, right? And so I had to learn a lot on my own, but I will tell you that some things I probably made a lot harder on myself than it had to be. And that then made me hate the process of some parts of my life. As far as, though, yes, I might not have had someone to tell me exactly how to do something. Even if I probably did have somebody that could tell me that, I came from the whole grind. You remember, grinding was so big, hustle grind mentality, and getting it out the mud. And if you're doing it this way, then you're going to be super successful and you're going to love it more because you had to work so hard for it. I don't know why us millennials thought that was a good idea. And we almost killed ourselves trying to do it that way, burnt ourselves out, stressed out. People that were young parents were super stressed out and were like, Lord help their kids. Like they ended up being grind making through type of kids as well. They talk about these pandemic babies, but those babies that were born, they might be Gen Z or Gen X now. Look, there's a reason why these kids are the way that they are. They came from millennials that were grinding and trying to figure it out, grinding multiple jobs, taking a lot of hard roads. And I'm here to tell you guys that no, there is better ways in a lot of spaces. However, some things that you went through in life was literally what needed to happen for you to be the best version of yourself now. So that's one thing, right? But let's get into the things that we felt like we didn't create for ourselves, like meaning we didn't cause this trauma or these things to happen. There are a lot of things in life that just happen to us. And, you know, in my opinion, there's always a bigger reason. And if you really look back over your life, you know that song is a gospel song, As I Look Back Over My Life and I Think Things Over. I could truly say that I've been blessed. And if you do that, if you literally go back and journal and look back over your life, you're going to see a lot of hard times in that journal. You're going to see moments that you probably try to suppress because it was traumatizing and everything like that. But if you really start accounting for the fact that you made it through every one of those traumas and shortcomings, that in itself was the blessing. The Lord has given you another day, another chance at life to get it right, right? And a lot of times we overlook that because we're like, if we're going to live a miserable life, what was the point? Like, I'd rather not even be here. Let me tell you something. I would rather be here. You can have things on this earth. The Lord has meant for us to have a great life on earth. The problem is you have to seek, well, it's not a problem. The solution into getting to that is you have to seek him in order to get it, right? We keep trying to go around the curve. When people tell you to pray through it, we get frustrated. We don't want to hear it. However, oftentimes that is the solution. And I'm going to tell you right now, one prayer doesn't always do it. Sometimes you have to pray and pray and pray your way through a situation. And now some may say, well, why do I even have to go through things? How do you know the best version of yourself without going through things? If everything was good and everything was handed to you, do you really genuinely feel like you would be able to give solid advice to somebody, or that you would be a good person walking around on this earth if you think like everything's given to me, I'm good? Like, that's a great way to manifest, or however people say it. But the facts are, everybody will go through something in life. Nobody is unscathed from the woes of life. Like my pastor says, it rains on the just and the unjust, right? That doesn't mean go and just be unjust because things are going to happen to you. No, it just means that things are going to happen to both groups of people for a reason. And you have to really look back over your life and determine, what do you think that reason was that you might have went through that? What was the life lesson that you might have taken away from that happening? Even if it made you bitter, that could have been the result of you fighting against what the Lord was trying to do for you at that particular moment. Instead of embracing it and understanding like this, I can make it through this, praying your way through it, you came out of it and you're still stuck in the moment because you just want to be bitter that you even had to endure it. When I'm telling you, everybody on this earth is going to endure something. Even Jesus had to endure pain here on this earth to die for our sins so that we could then come about and have free will, right? And I'm telling you that the Lord has given you the free will, but part of that needs to be to thank him and go back to him when you have good days and bad days. You seek him, you seek his face, and you will have the desires of your heart. But you only get those by way of the Lord. And you should want it that way, because my sister always says this: you have to always be careful about who's talking to you and who's giving you something. Everything that glitters is genuinely not gold. And you only build that level of discernment by having a relationship with the Lord. Okay. And I recently watched a sermon by Sarah Jakes Roberts, who kind of touched on this. Well, actually, it ain't kind of. She touched on exactly what I'm talking about, which is the process. And she referenced that who you are when you're going through the process is showing how you would be once you get to the goal. Like, you have to be able to see God in you on the outside of that. And the only way to do that is to sharpen you through the process. Your prayer life, your faithfulness is what makes people know they can trust God through you, because you survived it. And when you then tell your testimony, you're going to reference God, because you're going to be like, I prayed through it. Nobody but God saved me in that moment. And think about what that does to someone else that maybe didn't know what having a prayer life really could do for them. You're now introducing them to what God can do and what God can be. You're a living testimony at that point. And then because you were willing to go through it, you have sharpened your skill at what God wanted you to be here and do. Right? We are here to give God the glory. All the glory. Hallelujah is the highest praise that you can give to the Lord. And at the end of the day, he's given us life. He's given us free will. He gives us so many things that we should be able to do that. We should want to give the glory back to him. We should want to thank him in all his riches. Thank his son for being here and giving his life for us to have this free will. I mean, it's like, my grandmother used to always say that the Lord is a selfish God, because he wants you. He wants love. He wants your attention. He wants your time. To me, that's not selfish. That's like your parents would want that from you, right? Your children want. Most people want that from somebody. If you're in a relationship, you want that from your partner. So why does that seem selfish that God will want it from you? Just because you feel like you haven't met him or you don't know him. Once you start building that relationship, you really will feel like you know God, like you met him, you feel like you have a direct line to him, you feel like, hey, it might even take a while for him to get back with me or to show me my blessing. However, if you have faith and you trust in him, you're going to know that God has a perfect timing for your life. And that human side of you in the midst of that process, because the timing, that's the waiting window. That's the process you have to go through to get what it is that you asked him for, that he has for you. That is a strong indicator of how much you trust God and where your faith lies with him. Because a lot of people get mad and get frustrated and almost curse God, like, why don't I deserve this? When in reality, he's probably not giving you something because he has something better for you, or either he's not giving you something because that literally just ain't the path he wants to send you down. He gives us a lot of what we want, but he still has an ultimate goal for our lives. I genuinely feel like we were put here for a particular purpose. I'm talking about down through our lineage that we are supposed to do here on this earth. And when you think about that, every family in the Bible had someone in their lineage that was supposed to do something, but it could have been generations of generations of generations to get to that one person. Because think about it, Jesus came out of someone's lineage, right? Mary came from someone's lineage. You see what I'm saying? Everybody in the Bible had a part to play to get to the person that was going to make a difference in this world. Moses' family came from a lineage. I mean, David, everybody's family came from a lineage. And so we all have a part to play in this world to get down the road to what God's true purpose is for us here on this earth. And what God's true purpose is here for our ancestors or for our children, great grandchildren, the kids we may never, ever, ever even meet. Right. But we have a part to play, and that is to stay strong in it, to endure, but to also understand that we're not meant to be here to suffer, but we do have a part to play. And that might come from some heartbreak, some hurt, a little bit of suffering, a little bit of sickness. But our life here on earth meant something, and it will leave a mark on this world. And I'm telling you guys, once again, it's not easy for a lot of people right now because of the economy, the government, and everything like that. And I want you guys, if you guys hear me and you are one of these people that have been going through that, understand that it's going to come back around. You will get back in the job field. You will balance your debt back out. Your income will grow, but you have to seek the Lord. You have to pray for those things. You have to have faith that it will work out. You may be dealing with mental health or anything like that right now. Understand, help is there. You have to seek it and find it. If they provide you with medications, you have to try it to balance yourself back out. And it's okay. Go to the doctors, go to the therapist, see what's really going on with you so you can get the help you need. We don't have to just suffer, just to suffer. The Lord put these people on earth as well, too, to help us out along the way. But regardless of that, you serve a purpose here on this earth. The Lord has given you breath for a reason. You will be substantial to this life. And I want you guys to know that, like, the process is the process. Your process may not look like mine. Mine might not look like yours. And I can't say like it's unfair that mine is this way because I might be the one that can handle it. Or you might be able to handle it more than me, right? The strongest person is not always the strongest person, if that makes sense. Like they can be physically strong and weak mentally or vice versa. And so the Lord knows what you can handle. When they say that he won't put more on you than you can bear, that is a very true statement. Because if you made it through, you could bear it. You might not have wanted to, but you did. Some people have lost limbs, have lost, important things that you feel like if that were to happen to you, you may not be able to push through. But you see people on social media now, they're still working out. They're still like doing the Olympics. They're still doing things that once upon a time they probably thought would be impossible for them. And that's because they don't give up. No matter what their shortcoming looks like, they make the best of it and they keep on going. And that's what I'm encouraging you guys to do. Don't give up. Don't get overly frustrated because things are hard. Understand that this is just a part of your process. And if you pray your way through it, journal, get your emotions out, cry it out, but seek the Lord, then it will not be as bad on you as you think because you're then doing what the Lord wanted you to do was seek him, give him some time. And I promise you the skill he's giving you while you're going through that process is going to catapult you far probably beyond your own thoughts or measures. So like those people that lost their jobs, it might have happened because the Lord has something way better for you. And you might not have separated from that job without them forcing you out of the job. That is just perspective and the way that you choose to view your process, right? And that's not always going to be easy to do, to view your process in a positive light, because it feels very hard while you're in it. However, you do have to find something to keep you sane and to keep diverting you back to the Lord, which I will call your North Star. The Lord is going to be your North Star in this conversation. No matter what is happening over here that's stressing you out or have you low, you have to find a way to get back to the Lord so that you could talk to him and pray your way through your situation. So listen, the process does not always feel good, and it definitely does not look the same for everyone. But I just want you guys to know that everyone is going to go through a process in their life. And I will tell you, some people's processes is years. It might take years to go through something that the Lord is crafting you for, that will catapult you to a position you would have never even imagined that you could do or be in. And, you know, like I said, it's not going to feel good. It's not always going to feel easy. But the Lord has good things for us here on this earth. And so if you want to keep reaping those benefits, I would encourage you to keep seeking the Lord. Because at the end of the day, our ultimate goal is to go to heaven. We can have good things and have some heaven and some desires of our heart here on earth, but nothing's going to be the ultimate heaven experience on streets paved with gold. I'm trying to see that, right? I want to be a part of that. And I'm going to do whatever it takes by my Lord to see that, right? No matter what is going on this earth, no matter how hard it gets, my goal is to be with the Lord. And so you have to kind of make that up in your mind, even if it's not a perfect walk, because nowhere near my perfect. I definitely, y'all heard me curse on here before. Y'all see me do things, you know, that is definitely not perfect. But I'm telling you my intent, and also my intent and my heart desire is to be with the Lord. So you have to kind of make up that in your mind, what your heart's desire is. And if it's with the Lord, you got to go by way of him to get to it. You can't even get to the Lord without acknowledging Jesus. You got to check out John 3:16 for that Bible verse, and you would have a solid understanding of the process to get closer to the Lord and to make it through these processes. It's literally a process to even get to the Lord. So don't think that you don't have to go through it. Don't think that you're the only person that is going through it, because that's just not the case. We all go through it. Now look, we made it through. You understand now that processes happen to everyone. You probably have a better understanding of what a process is and what that looks like. You can identify it, and that can come in the form of being sad or feeling depressed or feeling like life is hard. You could have mental health stuff going on. You could have health stuff going on. You could have lost your job, anything like that. Those things are processes that you're going through for another reason. So you can start identifying this is just temporary. You can start telling yourself that, so you can start working your brain into knowing this is short term, even if 5 years is short term still, compared to it could be a lifelong situation, right? Remember, no matter what is going on, I can make the best of it. There are people that have lost limbs, sight, vision, and everything, and are still super successful in this world. Look them up and you will see that for yourself, right? If one person can do it, multiple people can do it. And that might not look the same for you, but understand that there is a true divine promise on your life. And if you want it, you have to stay faithful. You have to stay positive. You have to look for the bright side in things. You have to understand it's temporary. You have to train your mind and your thoughts to come back to the Lord, find your North Star, and focus on that and lock in on that. Even if you fall off and you get stressed out, because I get it, that's the human side. We are still human beings. And once again, the Lord still gave us free will. You just always have to remember how to get back on track. And just understand what a process is and what yours look like. And if you want a better understanding of that, get a journal and write down things in your life that you felt was traumatizing and unfair to you. And then think about what happened after that. Look and see how the Lord changed your life. And if you feel like things haven't changed, then is it really just things haven't changed, or the way you're looking at it? Are you not looking at the things that happened in your life as a blessing? Or are you just looking at it like, oh, that should have happened. That was supposed to happen. Because I'm promising you, none of this has to happen. There are people who are literally have not woken up. They did not wake up today. Okay? They're passed on. The Lord don't have to give you a chance. But if he did, that is the blessing. So you can look at it in a negative light, or you can look at it for what it is, that the Lord has woke me up today for me to do something in this world, and I need to figure out what that is. All right. And you guys, listen, thank you guys for staying to the end. I pray that this helps someone. And I want you guys to know that there is a divine promise on your life, and the Lord wants to give you your heart's desires. And the scripture is Psalms 37:4. The Lord will give you the desires of your heart, but understand you have to go by way of him to get to that. Okay. So listen, it might not be for you, this message, but as I always say, it could be for a friend, a family member, a coworker, anybody that you think would need to hear this message. Please make sure you share it with them, because we want them to be a part of our family as well. And make sure you drop something in the comments if you want to hear a little bit more about these processes, or if you have a testimony, because at the end of the day, we all have a testimony. I definitely will share my testimonies with you guys, because I know what the Lord has done for me and my life. So if you found something valuable here, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click the notification bell. My videos drop every Sunday and every Wednesday. Wednesday is Wealth Wednesday, and Sunday is Alignment, Focus, and Reset. And everything is gearing us toward our wealth mindset, so that we can skip the line on a lot of things that we weren't taught, and we want to live a good life now as well as down the road in retirement. And look, as I tell you guys all the time, if you want to hear anything dealing with life insurance and retirement, I'm Tamika, and I'm the life insurance game changer, and I will give you guys a free quote. I got you guys. Bye, family.